Hi, this is Linda with the Life Station Express, the relay station. We bring the news to you. Today's news is I'm just making a follow up from yesterday's video concerning the movie Sound of Freedom. From the beginning to the end of that movie, you are kind of riveted in your seat. It was done very well. The storyline was played out really well, and I think they took a lot of time to work on just how to get all of the characters introduced, to get the subject matter introduced, and to let you see how the events played out over the course of the time that the real event played out. I'm not sure how many months or whatever this took. It took a while. Well, it took a while for all of this to play out, but the way that the movie was put together was really, really well. It was just excellent. The acting was excellent. When you see Jim Caviezel play Tim, the person who the movie is about, and the things that he did and took care of in the movie or in his life, the real story, it just was done really excellently. I thought it was very well written, and the company, the movie makers, the people, did such a really good job of letting you know just how each and every character was feeling, what they were all about, who they were, and why they were there in the story. And there were a lot of, I guess I would call them face shots or head shots where you didn't see, you would see the person, what they were doing, their whole body, you'd see their whole body, and then they would get close up and you would see the expression on their face and you would see the emotion on their face or the lack of emotion, depending on what the scene was about. And I think it was done very well. The subject matter, of course, sex trafficking is a very difficult subject matter to talk about, and to be able to portray the severity of the subject and have it come across in an understandable way, they did a really good job with that. And the story was great. The actors were great. They took wonderful time telling the story in a way that you got what happened in the 2 hours and 15 minutes that you're sitting in the seat, which did not seem to be that long at all. So we went in the afternoon. Of course, Richard said nobody goes to the movies in the afternoon, but I said we are. So we went to the movies in the afternoon, and then we had the rest of the day, open to us. So that worked out okay. There were probably maybe 20 people in our movie theater. And because it was, I guess, the afternoon, the rest of the movie theater, where there were 7 other movies playing, was pretty empty. But I'm so glad that this movie is getting the reviews that it's getting. It's being shown and it's getting the numbers that it's getting, because believe me, the subject matter is very, very important. Now, I spent a half an hour a while ago making this video, and then I deleted it because I think I just went too far or into too many details with the subject matter. We know what the subject matter is. It's sex trafficking, and we know it's funded by the dollars of people sitting a lot of times at home watching videos or watching pornography, or it's also, the people that are buying and selling these children are doing it for various reasons. Some of the reasons are like, not only pornography, but organ harvesting and adrenochrome harvesting. If you don't know what those two things are about, dig a little bit and do some research. My video that I deleted went into a little bit about those two subjects, and I don't think I need to do that here. You can do your own research. We all have the internet at our fingertips right now, and if you're on a reputable site, you'll see what those things are about. But anyway, the story was done very well. The one part that I really thought was significant as a Christian that I loved was the part where Tim's character is meeting with a bad guy and he quotes a scripture. And if you don't know the Bible, you would not know what the scripture is. Sorry, got a little hair on my face. I was outside, I'm kind of windblown. Anyway, you would maybe not recognize the scripture, but it's Matthew 18, verse 6. And it talks about what I said yesterday about the millstone being tied to someone who hurts God's little ones and them being thrown into the sea. And it would be better for them had this happened to them. And anyway, sorry about that. I had to pause it. I was outside and a hair was in my face and I couldn't get rid of it. So anyway, that scripture is used a lot of times to depict exactly how the Lord feels about anyone hurting or harming his little ones. Now, the scripture goes into little ones means new in the faith, or probably an innocence or an ignorance. Somebody that can be easily taken astray or duped or whatever. They're vulnerable. So that's what that scripture means. But I'm glad it was kind of cool because, and I guess this is a little bit of a spoiler if you haven't seen the movie. The character Tim is meeting with a bad guy and he's sitting across the table from him, and he mentions that scripture. He says it, and the bad guy is kind of like, whatever. So I was so glad that they got that in, because if you knew just how much God treasures all of his creation, all of his children, and that means adults, little ones, whatever, if you really knew how much he treasured and loved all of us, that would be, that scripture is very significant. So I'm glad they got that in there. Part of the way that I think the movie was done very well as well was that you saw the hard stuff, you saw the bad stuff, but you didn't see it. Okay, you knew it was there, you knew what they were talking about and what they tried to show you, but they couldn't show you and keep it PG. So it was done very well. Actually, I think if you are a survivor of trauma, or it depends on how deep that goes and how healed you've become, you maybe could go see it. That would be something you should pray about. But I think in general, for most people, it's okay to go see it. Don't be afraid to see it, because if you are afraid to hear about and see about things that aren't nice, then, how are we going to fix those things? So anyway, I just wanted to say, we did see the movie. We thought it was great. We will definitely tell anyone to go see it. I would love to see it again, even though I saw it the first time and I got everything I think that they needed to show us. I would like to go back and watch in a little more detail, because I'm sure there were scenes and spots in some of the scenes where I missed something that was really specifically planned, for us to catch. I might not have caught a couple things. Now, one scene I thought was really, I don't want to tell. Anyway, it was a camera angle. I won't tell what it was, but the camera angles and the way they thought these things through were really good. And I believe you definitely can use the arts to bring the gospel. And a lot of people do that. It's just, I think it's a place where if you're going to be using the arts, you need to be extremely careful. I used to be in a dance company in the 90s. And the first thing we learned before we ministered a dance was, number one, you are not performing, you are ministering. And number two, make sure your body is appropriate. So we were doing some dance moves, and we had to make sure that we were like undergirded, if you know what I mean, as women. It was a women's dance company. And the first thing we learned is you present yourself to the people watching you. I don't even want to use the word audience, to the people watching you, as someone that you want to bring them into the kingdom. I mean, you want to bring them into the throne room or wherever, whatever you're talking about. You want them to be in the middle of what your dance is all about, not watching you individually, which is really, really difficult if you're on a stage or you're in dress or whatever. You want to make sure that that line between I am bringing you into what I'm talking about, rather than I'm bringing you to me. Look at me. So there's a fine line there. And I'm sure these actors have had their fill of, I want you to see my character, I don't want you to see me. And a lot of that gets lost, in the modern movies. And um I did see a clip, and I'll just share this really quick, and I want to keep this as short as possible. I did see a clip, and it was somebody posted a piece of a movie, and I did not see this movie. It's an older movie, but they brought out something in this clip that I now know about. And I don't know if I did, mentioned earlier, adrenochrome. This movie was called Dark Crystal, and I don't think my children saw it. I did not see it, and I'm hoping I didn't let them see it when they were little. But there's a scene in that movie that is basically mimicking what they're using children for now. And if you know what I'm talking about, you can go look at it if you want. But I thought it was horrible, and it just lets us know that even though we are entertained a lot by movies, TV, funny videos, whatever, our eye gates and our ear gates need to be protected, and especially the ones of our children. I'm just saying that as a little extra piece here. So, anyway, back to the movie Sound of Freedom. The beginning scene is awesome, the ending scene is awesome. I don't know if I can say anything else about it. I would recommend you going it. When I came out of there, I was like, I don't care who made this movie. It's depicting something that needs to be talked about. They're hurting our children. Now listen, when I say they, we know there is God's kingdom, the enemy's kingdom, right? There are only two. There are only two kingdoms. We step into God's kingdom through the work of the cross, or we stay in the dark side by not doing that. We have a choice, and God gives us a choice. Our choice is to step into his kingdom. He doesn't push us in there, but he's always calling us. He's always calling us. And like I said in the other video, our names are engraved on the palms of his hands. Our names have been pushed into the wounds of his hands. He knows us. He's written a book for us. He knows us. And I would just ask you to search your heart and to think about what God has done for us, because it's everything. He's literally done everything we need for life in eternity. I just wanted to say that. And I'd be remiss if I didn't talk about that. Now, if you want to hear anything else that I've talked about, discovered, read in the Bible, thought about in other subjects, I have 3 subjects on my YouTube channel. Life Station Express is the name of my YouTube channel. I talk about my faith. I talk about my health journey, which I have 3 categories, basically, I guess you could say. On my one YouTube channel, it's easier than having 3 channels, okay? And I'll have a lot of fun doing them. So it'll be my faith, my health, and what we do here at camping, or what we do outside when we're camping, which is a smaller portion. But the faith and the health part is really what I'm all about. So if you have any questions for me, if you want to talk to me, please connect with me. Like my channel, please. It would be nice if I finally would get monetized at some point. I don't know. I'm not real thrilled with YouTube and the way they do things, but it's what I got, and it's where I am. So if you would like my channel, like this video, find me on Facebook. My page there is called Life Station Express as well, lifestationexpress.com. Also, I have a page on Facebook called Food, Faith, and Friends - Let's Get Healthy. I only am on those 2. I'm only participatory, big word, on Facebook and YouTube. I do belong to Rumble, but I haven't really set that up. It's been a little more difficult for me to set that up. I'd like to put all my videos from YouTube over onto Rumble because of some of the subject matter, but I haven't figured out how to do that yet. If you know how to do that, you can maybe connect with me. I would love to hear somebody teach me, or have somebody teach me a little bit of how to do that. Everything I know I've figured out on my own. But anyway, this is Linda with the Life Station Express. And I would say, yes, go see the movie Sound of Freedom. And they also, if you connect, and I put this on my Facebook page today, you can connect to the movie, and people have made donations for others who maybe can't afford to go to the movie. There are free tickets. sitting somewhere. I'm not sure how it works, but you can also connect with them for a free ticket to see the movie. So everybody can go see it. If you can get to the movie house, movie theater, you can see the movie. I do highly recommend it. Again, it came from Angel Studios. That's on them, whatever they believe and however they want to live their faith life. I believe everything in this movie was good, right, and true. And I am very thankful that this person, Tim Ballard, I believe his last name is, I might have to say that wrong. This person definitely is on the side of the children. We'll put it that way. And just was a wonderful story. And it just lets you know that there's so much more work to be done. So find a ministry, find a person that is going to help. If you need help, if you are trapped in the struggle of pornography, which really, that's the money that feeds this stuff. If you find yourself trapped in that, pornography is sexual sin, fornication, adultery, pornography, homosexuality, anyone who's active in those, you are active in sexual sin, and God says no, and that will separate you from Him. You can get help, you can get freedom, and I would ask you to search out reputable, good, safe ministries that can help you and pray with you. And as a pastoral counselor, that's what I've been doing for the last few years. So you can connect to me if you'd like. If you want to leave a comment under this video, I would appreciate that. If you want to like it again, I'd appreciate that. So this is Linda. I'm going to close it down now and just tell you, yes, the movie's okay to watch. I'll see you soon. Bye.